So I've done plenty of videos here on YouTube about collecting tips, how to curate your collection, how to build up your collection, how to start your collection if you're just starting off. And well, I have to put them into practice now because I don't have a collection anymore. My physical media collection, if you haven't been following along, is gone. And it hasn't been sold. It was lost in the Eaton fire. It burned up in the fire. I was able to grab like 6 titles. So I had 6 titles to build my collection around, and that's it. So I've done plenty of those videos, and so now it's time to put some of those tips into practice. But here, if you need to know basically how to rebuild your collection, you can follow along with me, and I'm going to give some of the tips on how I am actually going to rebuild my collection going forward. So the first thing here is I'm going to focus on what I like. I'm going to focus on curating the collection and making it so that I don't have a bunch of junk in my stuff, you know, studio stuff that I get sent from work, whatever. I'm going to be purging my collection a lot more from stuff that I get for free or whatever, and I'm not going to be just buying stuff willy-nilly anymore. So what does that mean? Like, you know, just don't buy stuff just because it's on sale. You know, you get stuff that you like, stuff that you want back, because I know replacing some of my stuff, especially the Vinegar Syndrome catalog with the slipcovers and all that good stuff, that's going to be expensive to replace. And so going through, there are certain titles here that you can wait on. There's stuff that you would want if you want it back. And so there's stuff like this, Cemetery Man, which I haven't opened up since I got it, but this is the 4K sort of special edition from Severin. And this one I thought was a super limited release. It's not actually. So you could have waited, and I could have waited even after I bought this when it was new. I got it for cheaper, still wrapped from the Severin booth at a convention. So that's crazy. So that's something that you can look into as, you know, focusing on stuff you like. I'm not going to get, you know, random studio movies anymore. You know, stuff that I can watch on streaming, because obviously I'm not anti-streaming. Streaming is there. It's something for, you know, you can try watching a movie on there, and if I like the movie, I'm gonna buy it. If I don't really, or it's whatever, I can just watch it again on streaming and I don't have to worry about it. But for the stuff that I love, I'm going to get it and keep getting it. And curating the collection, meaning just kind of, you know, making sure that I'm not buying stuff that I don't think that I'll need or that I'll want or that, you know, I can get for cheaper later or something like that. You know, keeping it so that I think I had it before at a pretty good place with around 600 titles. There's some people out there that have 4,000, 5,000 titles, and that for them can be great. For me, that would be way too much. So curating the collection, making sure it's stuff that I like, is a big priority for me. Number 2 is knowing that everything goes on sale. Everything. Every single piece of physical media stuff that you can think of besides very specific box sets goes on sale at some point. So you can look at something like this. I just got these from Scream Factory in one of their sales. They have a very special program where it's free and you get early access to sales and stuff like that. But I got Night of the Demons 1, Night of the Demons 2, and Night of the Demons 3 all together. I didn't pay all that much for these, but, you know, getting them with the slipcover would have been difficult. But I got it with some package that they had with pins and the posters and stuff like that. Whereas I just wanted the, you know, the movies basically here. And so what did I get? I ended up just getting the movies, and I'm going to sell the pins and the posters later. And I got the slipcovers that I wanted for them. So that's a way to do it where, you know, this stuff goes on sale. I would have been looking on eBay for stuff with the slipcovers. It's just knowing that stuff. There's a January sale for Vinegar Syndrome. There's a Valentine's Day sale for Scream Factory. There's a sale in April for Arrow Video. There's a sale halfway to Black Friday for Vinegar Syndrome. There's a Black Friday sale. The problem is, with everything being on sale all the time, that means that the price of stuff, whatever, if it's $30, $25 for a Blu-ray, you can get for $20, $15, $10 at certain points in the year. You have to know at what certain point in the year to go grab it. That's basically what I'm trying to say with this point, is that knowing that things go on sale, but knowing that things go on sale at specific points. The sales for Black Friday are better than the halfway to Black Friday sale. The sales for Valentine's Day are better than the John Carpenter's birthday sale, or whatever the hell that these companies do, because they all know how to curate and sort of make it so that with each other they can sync up. I don't know if they're all doing it on purpose, but it sure feels that way, where you're getting multiple sales at points in the year and they're all jammed together. You know, Barnes & Noble does their Criterion sale, their Arrow sale, their all that stuff multiple times in the year. So it's just knowing when the best ones come up. And I do at this point know when the best ones come up, so I don't, overspend on stuff that I could have gotten for even cheaper. I'm waiting for the Flag Day sale at this point, but knowing when sales are is a very important thing for physical media collectors, and it's how I'm going to try to rebuild my collection. So here's a third one that's really important for those of you out there with really big collections. I'm starting from scratch. I do have the app that I've talked about previously. I'm going to keep that for sort of the sake of knowing what movies I had in the past that I want to add to my collection again. But it's actually curating your collection and curating it, not just like knowing, oh, I want to buy this, I don't want to buy this, but knowing what you have and what versions you have and how much you paid for it. Because that's really important, especially for insurance documentation, which is what I'm going through right now, which is really fun. It's not fun at all. I don't wish this upon anyone, people going through and trying to get a back and forth with an insurance adjuster. But use Excel or use an app to keep track of it. I have an Excel sheet of all of my movies that I had. Basically, just keep track of your stuff. So, for something like this, that is, The Hitcher 4K from Second Sight, you can get this right now, $60, like $80, depending on where you buy it from, all that, new, used. If I was going to be, doing this collection all over again on an Excel spreadsheet, I would say, The Hitcher 4K, Second Sight, box set, sealed, brand new. And then as soon as I open this, I'm going to take the sealed, the brand new off and say that it's been opened, but that it's got all the contents, it's complete in box, blah, 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 blah. And go through and really do that for all of your stuff, because it's important, one, to know what you have just in case, because I've bought 2 of the same movie before. I owned 7 different copies of Halloween at one point, but knowing exactly what you have and how much you paid for it, and if you can, how much it's worth, because that's kind of nice to keep track of as well, because if you're selling stuff or whatever, knowing your collection's value is really important in the long run, and knowing what you paid for it is also really important, because you can see over time, hey, I'm, spending a little too much here, I'm getting value here with whatever. That isn't important to me. It's just kind of a nice thing to see, because I'm never going to sell my collection, and I wasn't going to sell my collection beforehand. So doing all of that is really important. Knowing what you can and can't do with your collection and sort of cataloging it is super important for multiple reasons. Number 4, I have over 400 videos on my YouTube channel. You can see my collection grow in the background behind me. So that's really advantageous for me. I have videos of me showing off stuff. I have me showing off me rebuying this Highlander 4K that I got, or new stuff, or anything. So if I needed proof of documentation that I actually own something, well, I have that. Some of you out there might not have a YouTube channel. You might not have 400 videos of your collection or whatever. So make sure you take really good pictures and really good videos of your collection. Just go through, do it like once every 6 months or once every 3 months or whatever you want, whatever interval you feel comfortable with. Just go through and take a big video, take pictures of it, do all of that. 1, it'll help you, and you might start up a YouTube channel about physical media like this one. Or 2, you'll have videos of it, so you'll know, oh, I have this, oh, I didn't have this, or I had this edition, not that edition. Because I was wondering with Cemetery Man in particular, is this the special edition that I had, or was there something that was even more special? Well, it turned out to be this one. So it's stuff like that, going through and knowing exactly what you have in your collection, that's really important, that sort of piggybacks off that third point. But having videos and pictures is even better, and you can show it off to people if you ever need to. You get into a conversation with somebody about physical media, show off your collection. That's what it's there for. So that's really cool. Make sure you do that if you're rebuilding a collection, starting a collection, doing all of that. And here's the 5th and the most important one that I have to hold in my heart, and that you should too, and that is still love collecting, to love it for the sake of it, to love film and love physical media. That is the most important thing, because at the end of the day, my collection is gone, my old collection, whatever, but I have the opportunity to start a new collection. And so to rekindle that love of something like Southern Comfort on 4K, the Vinegar Syndrome Ultra, that was the last movie that I ever watched from my old collection, and I recently picked this back up. But it's stuff like this, that, loving your collection, loving what you do, loving your hobby, and this goes for all collecting, whether that's, magic cards, video games, toys, whatever, comic books. Loving what you're doing is the most important thing, because if you don't love your collection and you don't love collecting, what are you doing at the end of the day, really? Like, you're just cultivating stuff. That's not super fun, especially if you've cultivated a lot of stuff. So getting all of this stuff together, getting all of these great movies that you can show off, that you can love yourself or with your friends and family, all of that, that is the most important thing about collecting, and the reason why I'm trying to rebuild that big ass physical media collection that I once had. So what are some of the tips that you have for me? I'm listening because I've got plenty of stuff to do. Were these tips good for you? Let me know in the comments what you think of them, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and do all that YouTube stuff. And if you want more collecting tips, because God knows I'm going to have to look at these, make sure you check out this playlist right here. It's got all of my old videos about collecting and then some.